Hi everyone, my name is Cheryl. Welcome to my Happy Handcraft Studio. Well, if you can see the thumbnail, you can see that I had a great month of finishing different projects. I'm really happy to be able to share them all with you. Thank you to all my new subscribers. It's great to see you joining the channel. One of the main questions I had from new people is, how do I get so many things done? And the reason for getting so many things done is just devoting myself to making things. I love to make things. I make something every day, and I'm involved in a lot of different groups of makers. So I belong to 3 quilt guilds. I join a Stitching at the Library group. I belong to a bag making group, the Ujamaa Baguettes. I sew for charity through one of our quilt guilds and for the Ujamaa Grandmas, Bags, Babies, and Beyond. So I have a lot of reasons to make things. And it makes me happy. My sewing studio is really my happy place. And I know a lot of you are similar in that you just love to be making. So I'm going to share with you the things that I completed in March. So the very first thing I will share is my FFO, fully finished object, which is 324. So 324 is by Arlene Cohen, works by ABC. And you can see I framed it a little bit differently. When it was done, I knew I wanted it in my sewing studio, and so I decided to put quilt fabric with it to make it fit. Was it a good idea? I'm not sure, but I like it. I love doing 324. It was just the most satisfying stitch. I loved making all of the different medallions. I love seeing how the colors work together. So this was a really successful, happy project for me. Love it. Then the next thing I finished was a birthday start from last year, and that is Joyful Floral. This was a Dimensions kit, and the only thing I changed was I ended up doing it on a navy Lugana. I did start it on the kit DMC, and I wasn't happy. But this I love. I think it's just great, and I have a good place in my house for it. So again, another finish. And then my final finish was a little ornament. This is the pattern, and this is the little ornament that I ended up making, and it has some beads on it. This kit came with the printed background so that if it spins on your tree, it looks nice from both sides. And I like this well enough that I would consider just making the ornament again. Probably not on plastic canvas. I'd probably do it on some kind of a linen. But something else off my list. I love getting things off the list. Okay, my list. So this is what it's looking like. I now have just 5 projects that I'm working on. I'm having thoughts right now of, did I show you Hoity Toity last time? I can't remember. I don't think so. I also finished Hoity Toity. I'm going to show that to you now. So Hoity Toity is Long Dog sampler, and it's one that I've been working on since January 2022. And it's complete. And this was another stitch that I just loved. It was never tiresome to work on it. It was always a pleasure. Again, colors were not colors that I ever would have chosen myself to put together, but I love how it looks with the final sampler. So this one isn't fully finished yet. It needs to be framed, and it's not a standard size, so I'm not sure just what I'm going to do for framing yet. But it's done. It's off the list. So that was what, 4 things off the list this month. That's great. So I did Hoity Toity on a 32 count antique white Lugana. So back to my board. So yeah, just the 5 things here now to be working on. These ones I can take off. These were the Joyful Floral and the Poinsettia ornament. I still have a fair amount of fully finishing to do. So we'll see if maybe I can finish up something down there. That would be great to have even fewer things down here. The rest of these I'm going to be showing you because I managed in March to work through them all. I think, yeah, I did. So I'm going to show you now the works in progress, my whips, and talk about Whip Go and things like that. So for Whip Go, for March, I was doing Joyful Floral, and this one, Santa Brought a Christmas Gift. This one is by Owl Stitching House, and I'm doing it on a 32 count slate blue Lugana. And this is another one of those really great stitches, you know, with nice blocks of color that, you know, you can spend, you know, quite a few minutes just with one color without doing a lot of switching. And I had decided that I was going to break it up by months, of doing half a house a month. But I managed to do half of this house already, which is my May-June house. So that's great. I'm already ahead by half a house. So I'm looking forward to working on that one again. The next whip was Saharo and Flowers. This is from Vivster, and it's based on a Frank Lloyd Wright design. Nice big chunks of color and a loose weave. This is 14 count fiddler's cloth. So this is an easy one to do, you know, if I take it to a retreat or something like that. So happy with that. And next one that I'll show is Happy Mood Point. Happy Mood Point is from the Etsy shop Happy Mood Point. It's actually Sampler Quaker SS089, and it is quite a long sampler, and I've decided that this is going to be where I end. I've done enough of this. I don't really have a place in this house that I want to put a bigger one, but I can see where this would work for Christmas in a certain room of our house. So I'm going to just make the little finial here on this end and do this panel down and call it good. I'm happy with that. This one is on a 32 count pearl gray Lugana. Okay, then after I'd done my Whipco pieces in March, I put everything on a spinner and managed to get through everything. And you know, this next one is the one that I was just hoping it wouldn't ever come up. You know, I mean, it had to come up because there's only, you know, 5 things now on the spinner. And it is Queen Elizabeth II in her coronation dress. It's on a 28 count Vintage Blue Cashel. It's by Teresa Gil. I do love the picture, but this is one of those ones where you're changing colors every few stitches, it feels like sometimes. But it is coming. Sorry, I haven't ironed this one. But I'm liking her more all the time. As she gets closer to being finished, she's growing on me. I loved her, then I didn't like her. Now I love her. I'm liking her again. Okay. And then the next one that I'm going to show, I did work on at the end of March, and then I also worked on it yesterday, April the 1st. I'm doing Springo. And so my spin for 30, maybe I'll show you my Springo board. So Springo is C. Zook stitch, Carolyn Zook's Springo, like she calls a number every day. And for each letter, I have put one of my whips. So my S is the Sahara, you just saw that. P is for Happy Mood Point. R is for Row of Houses. That one is Santa brought a Christmas gift. I is for Indigo, and that I'm using Happy Mood Point. N is for New Year's Start, and for me that was Kingdom of Books. G is for Gil, Teresa Gil, and that's Queen Elizabeth II in her coronation dress. And O is for Oldest, Queen Elizabeth II in her coronation dress. So I have given her 2 rows. She is also, I think she's my Whipco for April. Yes, she's Whipco for April. And my other Whipco call was for choice. So that works really good for Springo. Now you can see, I just wanted this to be happy, and so I have stickers. I haven't done a lot of stickers. As a former elementary school teacher, I was kind of stickered out, but they're back. It's all good. So the one I'm working on today is Queen Elizabeth II in her coronation dress, because 31 was called for today. And that's great. I'm really happy about those ones that I'm working on. So, plans. Excuse me. It will be Springo. I'll work on those calls, and there'll be an emphasis on Queen Elizabeth II in her coronation dress. So it's all good. So if my cross-stitch people leave me now, I do want to talk about a very special event coming up in Calgary, in southern Alberta, if you live anywhere close. We're having our Ujamaa Grandma fabric and yarn sale. And this is an amazing sale for anyone who loves to make things. We have for the stitching community, we have stitching kits, floss, fabrics, patterns. For people in the quilting community, we have shelves and boxes full of quilt fabric, quilt patterns, quilt kits. If you're into knitting or crocheting, we have a yarn section with all the tools that you need. We have a book and pattern section. And then we have a huge section in the middle of the Garrison curling rink that has all of our sewing fabrics. And this year we also have a huge donation from Sun Ice. Sun Ice was a local activewear manufacturer, and they have given the charity a huge amount of their activewear fabric. We have beautiful, what we call specialty fabrics, fine wools, silks, leathers. We've had cowhides. You just never know what can come into this sale. And then there's a whole area called hard goods, which are sewing machines, sewing room furniture. We've had looms. We've had every kind of sewing machine, serger. We have like hoops and needleworking stands. Like, we just never know from year to year what we'll get, but it's always a treasure. So tickets for the Friday, May 2nd, are available on Eventbrite, $5 a ticket, and there still are tickets for the afternoon. And as well, the sale goes Saturday, May 3rd and Sunday, May 4th. And we do have many people who come all 3 days. We have so much product that it's hard to see it all at one time. It's just the most wonderful place to go if you love any of those things for making. I try to go with a list. If I'm headed to quilting, I'm going with a fabric story, a color story in mind. I might be taking a quilt pattern with me. Right now, I am working through all my fabrics so that I have lots of empty bins to fill up again. For cross stitch, I don't have a plan. I really am happy with what I have, but if there is a fabric that I think I could use, that would probably be where I would be looking to see what treasures are there. So if you are interested, you can go to Eventbrite. You can also go to the Ujamaa Grandma website, and I'll list all of that in the description box below. So that's stitching, but I've been busy. So I'll talk as well about another Ujamaa Grandma project. I am part of the Ujamaa Baguettes, and we make handbags for our fall event, which is a handcraft sale, and we make bags for that. But we also work on designing our own patterns for sale. And the Ujamaa Baguette patterns can be found on Etsy. They can be found on Payhip, and they can also be purchased from Emmeline Bags. So if you're a bag maker, you know about Emmeline Bags. She has beautiful hardware and patterns. So I'm going to show you 3 bags that I've made this month. One is a new release for the Ujamaa Baguettes, and that is this bag called the Yoga Long. And the Jobelan was designed to carry your mat to class. There's also a zipper where you can put your keys, a slot where you could put your phone, whatever you might need. Now this pattern has changed a bit. I was a tester for this pattern. Now I believe the zipper goes all the way across, just to make a bigger pocket for phones and keys and things. It has a strap that you can carry it over your shoulder, and it also has kind of a hand strap here and then a drawstring at the top. It's an easy make. My main suggestion would be use a slippery lining. You know, if there's a nice slippery lining, it works really well for sliding your mat in and out. So this is available now for purchase, this pattern. All proceeds from the pattern go to the Stephen Lewis Foundation, which is the Grandmothers to Grandmothers campaign, where we help grandmothers in Africa look after their orphaned grandchildren, parents who have passed away from HIV/AIDS. And the need is great at this point. So this is one pattern available. And even if you purchase from Emmeline, Janelle at Emmeline Bags donates all of the money received from our bag patterns to the Stephen Lewis Foundation. So another pattern that we have is called Ready Set. And this is this is one of my favorite patterns that we sell. And it is for our people who love yarn. So it's a great, well, it can be anything, but a lot of our yarn people, our knitters and crocheters, use this bag. It has slip pockets on the side, and it has a drawstring to keep your yarn safe from dust and cats and things. And then inside, there's also a slip pocket. Oh, I can't see that. There's a slip pocket. If you were making this yourself, there is some other ways to actually make two, like a divider inside. So if you are working with color work or you're knitting 2 socks at a time, you can divide your balls of yarn. Like I said, a nice drawstring, can loop it, and then it also has a handle that can just slip out of the way. Now this one I used a tapestry sample from a designer that we get at the Fabric and Yarn Sale. All of these fabrics are Fabric and Yarn Sale from the Ujamaa Grandmas. And then the next one I made is the same pattern. Now this comes in 3 sizes. Ready, set, 1, 2, 3, of course. One is this, there's a small one. This is the medium size, and then there's a larger one. Medium is our most popular. This one has a lovely, beautifully soft vinyl on it, and then made of canvas, cotton top. This was Art Gallery fabric. If you're familiar with that company, you can just feel the quality when you use it. And then again, this one has a nice bright inside and a slip pocket. So these ones will be available in October at our Bags, Babies and Beyond event in Calgary. I'm getting those ready to take down because I am, of course, going to volunteer at the sale. It's my volunteercation. I'm headed down to Calgary, staying in a hotel, and going, I don't know, 4 or 5 days to work at the sale. Get the things ready, and then meet the people as they come. So if you're in the area and you love making things, do yourself a favor and come to the sale. All right, some other things I made. I get 2 more things for the sale. Now this was a pattern from our Battle River Quilt Guild, and it's just a simple pouch. I put a snap on it. Now this is gorgeous, kind of a linen fabric that one of our members in Calgary gave me to make pouches from. She's a fabulous quilter. She was one of our quilters of distinction at a local quilt festival. You can see here. And then I put this band on top, just a clean inside. So those are going to the sale as well. And when I lived in the foothills of Alberta, I went to Millerville a lot, to the Millerville Library. And one of the fundraisers we had there was a slow stitch workshop. So we were learning all about slow stitching. And so this is a pouch that I made from that class. And I call it my Heartland pouch. If you're familiar with the TV series Heartland, it's filmed in the Millerville area. And if you see the store, it's the Millerville General Store. So yeah, I loved it. It's like doodling with yarn. Loved it. It was fun. It took a while. This was a Zoom meeting kind of project. All right, so my plans for April. I am going to have new starts. Or new start, I'm not sure. You can decide on that. I'm going to have you help me choose. So I have gone through my kitted up projects and I have found 4 that are possibilities. I'm going to have you help me to decide. First one is called You Are the Boss. So this is a pattern from Lori Holt, and I have the thread pack that goes with it. And I know I have white fabric that I can use. So this is one of my choices. You Are the Boss. I like that. The next choice is Mrs. Bunny Plus. Now, I picked this up at Fabric and Yarn sale last year, I believe. And I love this because it's the picture from The Country Bunny, my favorite Easter book. And so I'm thinking that this would be a great possibility. April is my birthday month, and so this would be a great birthday start because my birthday is right around Easter. So now it did come with a cream colored Ada. I won't be using that. I made that mistake before. I have learned from my mistakes. I'll find another fabric for this. It does have the thread pack, so that's great. So that's choice number 2. All right. Now, I think we'll make this, we'll put 2 together, and we'll make this the next choice, and it's Chubby Bunny and Chubby Bird. So when I was at Stitch and Stash, I believe it was last year, I picked up these patterns. And since, my birthday's by Easter, a bunny would be a good start. And I have 2 fabrics. This one is, I also picked up at Stitch and Stash. It is from the Grateful Thread, Charlene, and it is a 28 count even weave. You can see it's got a bit of a sparkle to it. I think that could be nice background for that. And I also have this unknown. It's kind of a gray-green that could also work. I'll decide when I'll decide when you guys decide. So I have 3 choices. We will call, we'll call this one Boss. If you want me to be the boss, put Boss. If you want me to do Mrs. Bunny, put Bunny. And if you want me to do the Chubby series, put Chubby. And I'll be interested to hear what you decide. I'll be happy regardless, because I love all 3 projects, but I'm not sure just how many I can actually start. So I'll have you help me with that. Thanks everyone for joining me, and remember, which of those new starts should I do for my cross stitching in April? See you soon. Bye-bye.